So welcome back. Now we're starting to get to the end of the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to this unwrapping of R2D2. So we're going to go ahead and take and do the unwrapping for the foot part. So first things first, once you have your foot selected, you're going to go ahead and do Shift H to go ahead and hide it and such. And then after that, you are going to go and apply the material. So you're going to go right here to material properties and then give it the right material. So now as you can see, we have some distortion, but we more or less have the material applied to it and such. So first things first is let's go ahead and take the easy ones that we know how they're gonna, the ones that are already unwrapped for us and just need a little bit of adjustment. And of course I'm talking about these two little cables right here. So I'm gonna go and go to edit mode and then switch to UV editing. I'm gonna select this element right here, L and L, take them and separate them, and then I'm just gonna select one of them so we can have that not overlapping the other one. Move this to the side and then hit L again, and as you can see we have some distortion. So the distortion, we're going to have to non-uniform this, scale this on the green axis, so those distortions are taken away. Takes a little bit of effort, but there you go. And then after I've non-uniform scaled this, I'm going to go ahead and uniform scale this so it's more of a resolution that I can work with. It's good enough. And then I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and take this and separate it to the side. So I believe now that I've unwrapped this, I can go ahead and hide these two elements so I don't have to see them. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, L, H, hide it, L, H, hide it, H, hide these. And then after I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and work on this element right here. So we are going to go and unwrap the front cap sections and do the same for the back one right here, and then hit U for unwrap and take these and put them to the side. And I'm going to take this top one right here and you know what, to make this easier, let's go ahead and hide this foot part so we don't have to see it. So L, hide that, and then after I've hidden that element, I'm going to go ahead and select this top one right here and move it to the side here, because as you can see, for the most part that's nicely and unwrapped for you. And I'm going to take the bottom one right here, good as well, also move it to the side, L to see the whole of what I'm working with. So as you can see, I have some overlap, which I hate, so I'm going to select this again. And then move it sideways so it's out of the way. L to select the whole element. It's good. And then finally we're going to be doing the sides here, so that this one and this one, unwrap, select them and move them away to the bottom, and then select the whole of it, because I'm going to take these right here and I'm going to want to weld all these elements together so that's one piece. Move it and line it up where the connection points are sort of going to be, and then I'm going to take this and uniform scale these so the connection points more or less match up with where it's going to be on the meshes to the top of this. And scale that. Good. Take one of these, put it to the side, and then I'm going to go to edge mode, select this one, Alt V, stitch together, confirm, good. This one here, Alt V, confirm, enter, good. And then finally this one right here, Alt V, confirm. And as you can see, now I have it as one whole element. And then the next part we're going to have to do is we're going to take these caps right here and then we're going to scale these so they have a good, so the connection points are more the same, and also that means the proportions of the scale within the UV space is also going to be the same. So I'm going to take this, scale it up a little bit upwards, move it to the side, good. And take this one, separate a little bit, of course. Good. Now that I have that nice and figured out, the proportions are good, I am going to go do and press Alt H, unhide the rest of it. And I'm going to go ahead and take this one right here and scale it to sort of match the proportions of the scale on these cables right here. So when I scale it up to match the rest of the model, I don't have to scale it even more. So let's see, that's okay. Very nice. And then finally, we're going to move on towards the last one. So I'm going to go ahead and hit L, click on the last one, hit Shift H to unhide the rest. And now I'm going to take side element here, side element here. Good. I'm going to hit U, unwrap, selected. This one right here is going to be towards, I'm going to move it to the bottom, get it out of the way. Take this one right here, move it to the side, also get it out of the way. Do the front part. And on this one right here, I'm doing it a little bit different because I'm not gonna stitch it together. On the previous foot, like I showed you guys, I showed you the stitching process, so you kind of have an idea of the workflow. But in this one, I'm just gonna keep it separate just for the sake of time. So select the front ones, U, unwrap. Take this, move it upwards, and now I'm gonna do the bottom part, unwrap. Move it sideways here. And I'm probably going to have to scale it a little bit because, as you can see, the scaling is not quite the same. So I'm going to go ahead and scale this a tiny bit. Good. I'm going to do these two right here. Unwrap. Take these and separate these to the side as well. Separate that a little bit. Good. And as you can see, the scale is also a little bit off, so I'm going to go ahead and scale it while I'm at it. Good. And this inner element right here, unwrap. I'm going to take this and pull this upwards. And in a perfect world, these would scale evenly with the rest of the elements, but that's how it is. Like I said a billion times, this is tedium on stilts. So you're going to have to scale this, separate it, and then finally this element right here, unwrap. So therefore you bring it all the way up here and then scale this as good as you can see. And then as you can see, we have this element unwrapped. That's nice. Hit L, select all of it, take it all, move it towards the bottom, and take some of these pieces, separate them from the rest. So you kind of have, again, you're trying to shoot for box shapes because, well, the whole of it sort of has to have a box feel to it if you're going to do it correctly. And move all these pieces where they're as close as possible. That's good. That's good. And that's good. Separate all this and move this to the side because now I'm going to go ahead and do Alt H, hide my other elements, and I'm going to take my other elements right here, and again, I'm going to sort of bunch it all together so when I make the final UV layout with this, everything is going to it's going to be easy to sort this out and it's not going to be one giant mess. So that's that. And then now that I've done that, I'm going to have to scale some of these elements to so that kind of have the same proportion. So it's going to be this main foot part here. So I'm going to click on that, hit L, and I'm going to start scaling this downwards so the proportion fits for this. And as you can see now, I have a good proportion, more or less, for all these. You can tweak it as you like. Put it to the side, put it here. And then I'm going to go ahead and do exit into object mode. I'm going to go and hit Alt H to hide the rest of my model. And then I'll go back to edit mode. I'll select my whole model, and now I'm gonna scale it again so the proportions kind of fit the proportions of the rest. Cool, good. So the rest of it's going to be the mirroring part, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this video now, and then the next one we're going to pick up with the mirroring, and then finally on towards the final UV layer.